we have ranted about this before.
It's every week now. It's twice a week. It's 2 or 3 times on Sunday.
This isn't a concussion thing. This is protect a quarterback from any injury that could keep him from playing thing, and this has been around for a while now. I sent a text to somebody at the league office. Can I get an explanation why replay wasn't activated to review whether Chris Jones had possession before the penalty? It looks like it should have been Chiefs' ball with the penalty applied from there. We'll see if we get an answer.
It's a game-changing moment, nonetheless. And the refs have too much power right now. And there's too many of them that are making the wrong call. And I do think, it's time to start talking about being accountable. I do. Chris, that was such a bad call. You don't get to ref a game next week. I'm sorry. We're bringing a guy off the bench because you, Jerome Bogerts, absolutely took the game into your discretion with the Falcons and the Bucs, and you don't get to ref the next week. You miss your game check. It's egregiously wrong. The NFL's not defending it because it's egregiously wrong. Just like the week before with the Ravens, Josh Allen hit, and the protection's gone above and beyond. You're right. I know that was more traditional last night. The NFL has to step in and start changing this a little bit. It's not fun to watch.
Jones.
It's stupid.
From after the game with his thoughts on what needs to happen to avoid the outcome that we saw last night.
I think now to evolve roughing the passer and protecting the quarterback is essentially what we're doing in this league. We got to be able to look at roughing the passers in the booth. You take a look at the Grady Jarrett situation.
I was going to ask you about that. Did you see that one from yesterday?
Of course. It's all over Twitter. And what type of situation that was in the game. That was a third down stop also. And then when you take that in initiative, if we're able to view it in the booth and the referees can get a second look because it's happening so fast, maybe we can change that. Because now it's getting absurd. You know what I'm saying? Now it's causing teams games. That was a fourth down stop on Grady Jarrett. That team would have got the ball back, and who knows what would have happened. But for them not to be able to look at that, when you sit on videos, you can, and faster, when it's faster and you're on the field and happen that fast, the ref, they might see something different. But when they're able to look at the video and see that it's not roughing the passers, a lot of these roughing the passers would be called back. Initially like today, roughing the passer, I actually stripped the ball and gravity kind of took me to the ground. And it's a roughing the passer call in a critical situation in the game. It's third down. We're down 10 points. You know what I mean? And that's a momentum shift in the game that could have affected us.
Did you get an explanation?
There's no need for an explanation, okay? So what I'm going to go to him and say, how should I tackle? How should I not roll on him? I'm trying my best. I'm 25 pounds, okay? What do you want me to do?
He almost told us the truth about how much he weighs.
He did.
He almost told us the truth. Officially 325, and I get fined if I weigh a pound over that, so I'm not 340 right now. To echo the point we already made and make sure everybody understands it, replay would have been available to give them possession of the ball, but not to overturn the roughing call. It needs to be, this is a point we've made for years, Chris. I've said this. The bodies are moving too quickly. The officials are out there with no protection, no helmets, no pads. They are constrained to the naked eye. I've been a big proponent of sky judge, booth umpire, whatever label they choose to apply. I don't care. Have somebody who is a member of the crew who can watch this and look at it and help the referees because there's a lot happening. They're having to make decisions quickly. Having the benefit of someone who sees what we see is crucial because it bridges the gap between what all of us see and what Carl Cheffers, got it right that time, happens to see behind the action on the field. Because there's two very different versions of what was seen there. His version and everyone else's. They need an official who is in a position to see everyone else's and help him with those calls. They're afraid to do that, though. They should do it because in this age of gambling, as you said, and Dean Blandino and I used to argue about this because I would say, oh, here's one for the tinfoil hat crowd. They're going to say the game was rigged. I'd say, you know these games aren't rigged. Why would you say that the games are rigged? I said, I'm not saying they're rigged. I'm saying there's a group of people out there
that
who are
always
looking for an opportunity to say the games are rigged.
Always.
And now that there's legalized gambling, there's even more reason. I saw that all over Twitter last night. They got money on the Raiders. They got money on the Raiders.
The fix is
the
exactly
got money
right.
on the Raiders.
That's what they're crazy. That's where I don't understand it. One, I think they got to take the language out of the rule book that says when in doubt, throw the flag. All right, that's the first thing, and I thought John Perry did a good job explaining it. It's the only rule in the whole rule book that has that language at the end. That needs to change, and I think Chris Jones is onto something there too, and you as well. There's got to be something there to help this out a little bit. Too many games being dictated by it. All right, so that's where my issue is, and I think it is a real issue around the league. It's too protective of the quarterbacks. We've done a good job. It's gone above and beyond. It's gotten ridiculous now. Quarterbacks are not really getting hurt that much. It's not happening. That's why guys are playing to 40, and it's no problem. Now we're getting to the point where we're not even allowed to hit the quarterback, and that's changing the football game, and I don't like that.
Is that what they want? Is that what they want? Because I tweeted that last night. The league office needs to take control of the sport. The owners need to tell them to do it, and the reaction by some was, this is what they want. They want the quarterbacks in bubble wrap. They want the quarterbacks to be able to play into their 40s. They'll tolerate this stuff, and also it's good for business to have everybody buzzing about this bad call. Do you think that this is what they really want?
I think that they want to protect the quarterbacks because they're the faces of the NFL right now. I do think that, but I think you're opening up more can of worms with like the fixes in and just the absolute egregiousness of the call there. That's not good for the sport. It makes you question everything right now. So that's where I don't like it. I don't. And again, I don't know. I mean, we're going to get to the point here where it's like, don't even worry about getting defensive linemen anymore. What's the point? We just get a bunch of DBs out there and linebackers, and we can't hit the quarterback. I'm being sarcastic there, but it just bothers me. It's taking a big element away from teams that are built through defense. You're taking a big element of what makes them successful away without being able to intimidate and physically punish the quarterback a little bit. I mean, there we are.
That ship sailed 30 years ago. Or at least 15.
I mean, to a degree, yes, but we're going beyond this now. It's gotten out of hand. You're not even allowed to tackle the quarterback. That's where we're getting to. It's not hitting him anymore. It's not allowed to tackle him. And that I have a problem with. I do. And, Mike, I want to talk about this game more. We haven't even got into the game. We've talked about 2-point conversions and this. I'm dying to talk about some of the aspects of the game, too. So, damn, we got to get to some of that, too, here in a second.
Well, we need to take a break because we've been going for almost an hour.
I know.
So we'll
horrible call here. You should not be allowed to ref the game the next week. There are plays like this, get out of here. You're off the game the next week. You don't get a paycheck. Just like a player would get fined, everybody else gets in trouble in the NFL. I'm sick of the players, the only people being held accountable. Start holding the damn referees accountable. Carl Cheffers, you threw your flag 5 seconds too late, and you're wrong all over. I don't know. Get him out of here for a week. I don't want to see him.
Hey, Chris, here's the problem.
Yeah.
Who are you going to replace him with?
I don't know.
This is the best they can do. Think back to 2012.
It's not the best they can do. They're cheap in that department, too. They need to pay referees more, and then we can have some more as backups.
No, that's different. Different issue. As of right now, if you tell one of the existing officials, take a seat, you're not going to have a better replacement.
I got you. I know.
The bigger picture is don't be so damn cheap about paying your officials. Prioritize that function. They have the money, and they have the incentive. Once they started making big money off of gambling, that was the first thing I said. You better peel off some of those funds and use it to do everything you can to plug every hole that you have in your officiating function, because now the stakes are higher. All it takes is one huge mistake in one huge moment to have Congress fully activated and to have an agency that ultimately springs up to have full control over the sport. Those are the stakes for the NFL. It's not just because, look, people are, I'm not going to watch anymore. Sure you're not. Sure, Jan. You'll huff and puff, but you're never blowing the house down. They have to worry about Congress. They have to worry about external oversight. They have to worry about lawsuits. They have to worry about prosecutions at some point. Frankly, there's different branches of government that have power over the NFL. You don't see it exercised maybe the way it could be or should be. These are the kind of moments that get those people to say, maybe there's something there. Maybe there's a reason for me to pick around a little bit. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.